libertybooksnh.net, something that rhymes with net. Does this look interesting to you? How about this? Or this? Well, in that case, you need this. Liberty Books, located at 75 Allison Street, Concord, New Hampshire. libertybooksnh.net, something that rhymes with net.
More New Hampshire Liberty news than I can shake a story at. So, I will try to shake a story at it. A summary of all the stuff I haven't gotten to. I'm getting reports of a dramatic increase in the Liberty population at Keene. The increase is thought to have occurred in the wake of that infamous November 14th video where a judge starts yelling at freedom activist Ian Freeman. I have an inquiry out to determine, get a more exact figure of exactly what the increase has been. Meanwhile, the number of men and women pledged to move to New Hampshire for more freedom is approaching the 10,000 mark. The number already here approaching 700. Officially, the actual numbers are thought to be higher. Confusion, accusations, and counter-accusations continue to swirl in the wake of that controversial horse raid on March 9th. Roughly, a dozen or more government workers and citizens descended on a Free Stater home that day and seized 12 Arabian horses, claiming neglect. Here is what I do know. Government sympathizers in Candia are confirming, or maybe I should say a government sympathizer in Candia is confirming, police or some authorities did block the road leading to Travis's home. However, they're claiming that a relatively acceptable detour was available. The raid made the top of the front page on the Union Leader, New Hampshire's biggest newspaper. There are 2 articles on unionleader.com, and they could be described as either fair or favorable toward the Travises. But what was most shocking and heartening to me was to see the degree of pro-liberty responses on unionleader.com. The Union Leader has a pretty much relatively wide open option for leaving comments on their articles. I would normally expect an animal neglect allegation, even a false one, to generate a lot of negativity about the Free State Project, but in fact, the comments have been running about 60% our way on unionleader.com, and there are a lot of comments. A lot of people are paying attention to what happened in Candia. There were multiple agencies and institutions involved in this horse seizure. There was the local veterinarian, the New Hampshire SPCA, Candia Police, a New Hampshire state government institution, I think like agricultural institution, and I heard that even the Attorney General got involved. It would seem almost unbelievable that such a large number of bureaucracies and people would get involved and put their credibility on the line unless they believed there was some neglect. However, they'd apparently already made their mind up because they had brought multiple horse trailers with them before performing any inspections on the horses. Unless you count a private veterinarian visit that had happened earlier to treat one of the horses for a cut. Anyway, back to what we do know. We do know that I've contacted Candia Police and they have declined to respond. I've contacted the veterinarian who was on the scene. He's declined to respond. And I've contacted the New Hampshire SPCA requesting to see the horses myself to see how they're doing, and they have declined to respond. On that note, I'd like to suggest or request that the Travises grab some video, close-up video of the horses or photographs or whatnot, and maybe post them online or just have them there so that if more horses get seized, we have an idea of what they looked like before they were seized. A common complaint that we're hearing from the public right now is that there are not very many pictures of the horses before they were seized, the ones that were seized. Such pictures could at least give some indication as to what kind of health they were in. Another question I have would be, how many tax dollars were expended on the raid? Were the animals being well treated? Are the seized animals now being well treated, now that the government has seized them? Did authorities give the Travises proper warning and notification before conducting the raid? Did the Travises give the government reason to believe they might react violently to such a raid? Can the authorities be trusted to provide accurate information regarding the condition of the horses when they were seized? Does the government have a conflict of interest? Would it be embarrassing for them to say anything other than the horses were being neglected? Was it lawful for trailer owners to cover up their license plates? Lastly, why did the authorities fail to invite the media along for the ride if they had nothing to hide? This is, after all, said to be one of the largest horse seizures in recent history in New Hampshire. And also an observation, if you look at the video that Brian Travis shot from his house, or on his property, authorities do seem to remain more or less professional and calm. However, they're on his property. And he has said, and this is another question I have, did authorities keep him outdoors during a blizzard for an hour or two during the raid? Was he, as the horses are supposed to be, allowed to remain warm in some form or fashion? Those are my questions and thoughts, but I'm not getting any answers from authorities. It's Dave Ridley signing off this March 12th, 2009 for RidleyReport.com.
This edition of the Ridley Report is brought to you by
LibertyBooksNH.net, something that rhymes with net.